Yes, indeed, folks. You are listening to Blue Please here on CynicalBrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. Am I done on this? No, I'm absolutely not done on this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I've adequately proved my point. So I want to share with you a couple of numbers. This is something that we had a discussion on the VTW Productions forums regarding this particular issue. Now, there's a number of disagreements regarding this, but honestly, this is my show, so I will talk about what the hell I want to talk about. So, let me discuss the idea of numbers. You know, numbers are nice because numbers are irrefutable. At least they're very hard to refute one way or the other. So, I shall pull up this post and we can talk a few numbers as to why this lockout is necessary. And then we'll talk about a bunch of other things regarding these changes that I, again, view as very positive. So, here's an idea, right? 25-man guild, 10-man guild, competing for a server first. And we're looking at item acquisition. So, let's assume that they're doing the 4-boss raid. Yeah? There's going to be 2 6s, a 4, and a 1 on launch. So, let's assume they're doing the 4. Now, they've killed the first 3 bosses and they're working on the 4th. And this is, say, the first week. Just for the sake of argument, it makes the numbers easier. Right. So, thus far, let's assume 2 items per boss. Killing 3 bosses, the 10-man guild's got 6 epic items. 25-man guild, assuming that you get 5 items per boss, which again, that will be an equal ratio, has 15 epic items. Now, already, potentially, the 25-man guild may have an advantage. It's true. What could happen there is that, depending on the drops, of course, the 10-man guild that they make out of that might end up having all 15 of those epic items. It's possible. It depends. They may have distributed them that way, they may not. But that's not the real point. The real point is this. Say there was no lockout. Imagine all the people wearing those epics. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Say there was no lockout, and say they were also able to do 10-man. So, they split their raid in 2, and they go head-on in. So let's just say that they've split them into 2. And they then go and do the 10-man. Yeah? So they have, between them, also killed an additional 6 bosses. Yeah? 2 raids worth, 3 bosses down. Now, let's look at the ratio of epics per raider. 10-man guild gets 0.6 epic items per raider at that stage of the game. 25-man guild split into 2 10-man groups, 1.35 epic items per raider. That's a lot of items, ladies and gentlemen. That's over double that which the 10-man guild gets. That means you would never ever see a 10-man world first. You would never ever see a 10-man server first. You would never get that. And the reason you would never get that is because the 25-man guilds would have the gear advantage. They would be streaming ahead. I mean, they're already going to have the gear advantage, bear this in mind. But the good thing is that they're going to have to make the choice between 10 and 25-man. Yeah? And that is going to make them stay in their own corner. Yeah? Stay with their own playstyle. Do you think that's bad? If I were a 25-man raider right now, and I must say I may end up being, again, a 25-man raider, I flip between the 2. And this is, to be honest, my real thing with it, yeah? I'm not really biased one way or the other. I mean, I'm in a 10-man guild right now, but I could very well be in a 25-man guild when Cataclysm launches. No doubt about it. And you're always going to get a situation whereby the people that play the most are the ones who win. I mean, let's be honest here. The people that play the most are going to bypass this anyway. Eh? Admittedly, they're going to be a tiny minority. You're going to have 25-man guilds with a bunch of alts go do that and whatever. But the point is that at least there is a degree of equality. And that equality's got to match up. You can't simply say that both are equal and both progression paths are equal when you then allow one progression path to go and stomp all over the other. You can't do it. It's a philosophical mistake. If you're looking at the design philosophy of this, if you're looking for equality, then equality also requires separate but equal. In this scenario, it does. I'm sorry, if you don't like that, deal with it. You don't have a choice in the matter. Now, I understand that some people say, oh, well, there's not going to be enough content, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, you might be right. Honestly, you might be. You're also looking at an expansion where they expect you to roll an alt. I mean, they're redoing all of the stuff at the start. They're redoing the old world, all this kind of crazy stuff. And, they want you to roll an alt. They're coming up with new race class combinations. They're completely redoing the racial so that they don't suck. They want you to roll an alt. And I might even roll an alt, and I hate alts. The idea of a troll druid is appealing to me. Whether or not you want to roll an alt, of course, is a personal decision. But at the end of the day, I'm happy to see this separation. I think this is a very positive thing for raiding. Now, this is not all that's been said here. So let's go on and have a look at some of the rest of it. You want to pull up your page right now if you want to follow along with this. So, nice bit of vindication here. And this is the start of what I view as a signed and dated notarized confession. This entire post is a confession. And you know what it says? It says we screwed up. We screwed up in Wrath, and we are changing basically all of it. We're going to keep the good stuff, of which there wasn't an awful lot, and we're going to take a few steps back, and we're going to learn the lessons from TBC. We're going to learn the lessons from Vanilla, even. And then we're going to go with that. And we're going to build a new raiding scene. And this is how we're going to do it. So, first things first. Nice quote here. We recognize that very long raids can be a barrier for some players, but we also want to provide enough encounters for the experience to feel epic. For the first few raid tiers, our plan is to provide multiple, smaller raids. I like... Did you just hear that, by the way? It's the sound of victory. And victory sounds something along the lines of this.
You dare look upon the host of souls! I shall devour you all!
How long have people been saying it? How long have I been saying it on this show that, yes, that is what you should be doing? Multiple smaller raids. Choice. Change of scenery. Means you don't get burned out so easily. Always nice. But hey, there you go. And you know what I also heard? Did you read that? The first few tiers of raiding will... The first few? Okay. How many is that? Well, it can't be two, because they would have said couple. It can't be one, because they wouldn't have said few, which indicates a plural. And indeed, tiers, S on the end, kind of gives it away. 3 tiers? 4 tiers? Maybe. Are we going to get more tiers of raiding? Does that mean more raid content? Because that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, ladies and gentlemen. Said it last week on the show. I'm bored. I'm bored because there isn't enough raid content. Seems to me that they're recognizing that that is an issue. Oh, yes. Smells good, ladies and gentlemen. Smells like vindication. So, they're talking about, think of how you can raid Serpent Shrine and Tempest Keep separately. You know what else they say? The dungeons themselves bring different environments and will provide some variety of location and visual style as well as separate raid lockouts. Yes, yes, and yes again. God, it feels good to be right. I feel good an awful lot of the time. Here's my hat is popping off my head. It's getting rather too big. Right. Now, more things, more good stuff. We do like how gating bosses over time allows the community to focus on individual encounters instead of just racing to the end, so we'll most likely keep that design moving forward. That's not so good. Honestly. We don't plan to impose attempt limitations again, though, except in very rare cases of optional rare bosses like Algernon. There you go. So, the gate... They don't really describe the gating too much, except with the next sentence here. Heroic mode may not be open from day one, but will become available after defeating normal mode perhaps as little as once or twice. Now that sounds really bad, doesn't it? Because, like, oh no! That's even worse than what it is right now. All you have to do is defeat normal mode once. Aha! Not the case. That is not the case. What they mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, is that you will be able to kill a boss, and you will be able to, after a few kills of it, move on and kill it in heroic mode while still doing everything else in normal. Yes, indeed. Quote, we might allow you to change between 10 and 25 on a per encounter basis for additional flexibility, and we may allow you to change between the difficulty on a per boss basis. Yeah. That's good. That's a really good thing. I'm alright with that gating. I said it earlier in the mailbag segment. I'll say it again, ladies and gentlemen. I am alright with that system. It's fine. That's a kind of gating I can live with. Get the boss on farm status, then you get to do it on heroic mode. Because Lord knows, I cannot face another kill of freaking Marigar, especially after they nerfed it into the ground. God. Here, play these 10 boring bosses. Maybe Putricide might provide you with mild challenge even though you now have them on farm status. Enjoy the hours and hours of repetition. Yeah, to hell with that, ladies and gents. To hell with that. Now, they talk about tuning as well. We want people to jump into the first raids pretty quickly, but we also don't want them to overshadow the heroic 5-player dungeons and more powerful quest rewards. Oh, quest rewards! I don't remember those things. What are they again? I don't remember. From the last year and a half where quest rewards were effectively pointless. I don't remember any of that. Bringing in quests to give epics. Oh, look, there's a sensible idea that should have been in there from the get-go. You're damn right. The progression path doesn't just start at 85. And indeed, it doesn't just start when you start raiding. There is progression before that. There is leveling, and then there is optimization. There is building the power of your character to the level where it can take on the content ahead of you. And in doing so, you have an opportunity. That opportunity is to vary things up by providing a set of challenging and enjoyable 5-man heroics, as well as sets of epic quests, which provide good storyline, they provide a lot of fun and enjoyment, good group content, and something different. Something that's not instanced. Something that's out in the open world, where you interact with other people. That is universally positive in every possible respect. It really is. Now, they go on to say, we'll be designing the first few raid zones, assuming that players have accumulated some blue gear from dungeons, crafted equipment, or quest rewards. In general, we want you and your guild members to participate in and enjoy the level up experience. Okay, that's fine. To be fair, that's really how it's been to begin with. No problem at all there whatsoever. I'm okay with that run-up. I'm okay with ramping up to it. Now, what I would hope to see is those 5-mans be designed in a genuinely challenging manner that does not get incredibly boring. You will get to the point, ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate, it's sad, but it happens, that you will overgear the 5-man content to the point where it is boring. What I would suggest at that point to Blizzard is to ramp up the difficulty based on the average item level of people in question. Now, if you can overgear a heroic 5-man, then you get to the point where it is a pointless waste of time. It is a grind. That's not fun at all. Nobody likes that. I certainly hope not. I'm sure there's a few masochists out there. They might even listen to terrible podcasts. Who knows? The only explanation I can think of. Some people might enjoy the repetition over and over and over again. Oh, it's a lovely social experience, isn't it? I get to meet new internet friends. Die so hard, seriously. I'm sorry, I don't care about your nice, lovely little internet friends. If they affect the difficulty and the challenge and the enjoyment of my encounters, then to hell with your internet friends. Down a well they go. A big, big well. Hopeless. Conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen. This is, in my opinion, by far, the most positive set of changes I have ever seen for raiding. The only minor issue that I've got is the gating, but even then, it is certainly better than what we've got now. It is a marked and massive improvement. I say to all those that say 25-man is dead, it will only die if you let it. If you're a 25-man raider, and your sole reason for doing that is because you wanted more powerful items and bragging rights, then I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong. How about picking the style which you enjoy the most? If you enjoy 10-mans the most, then do 10-mans. Count yourself blessed. Blizzard is finally giving you a way out. You hate 25-mans so much. Well, look, you don't have to do them anymore. Isn't it wonderful? As far as I'm concerned, 25-man raiders crying about the death of 25-man raids are, in themselves, secret haters. They are in the closet 10-man raiders. Indeed. They are tenophobic. They're just waiting to come out of that closet and say, I am a 10-man raider, and I'm fabulous. They actually secretly hate 25-man raiding, because if they loved it, and if they liked it, then they wouldn't give a damn if everyone else was doing 10s. In fact, they'd be more unique. They would really have the bragging rights then, wouldn't they? We're the only guild in the world still doing 25-man raids. Look at us, we're awesome. We have the logistical capabilities to outstrip everyone else on the planet. Here's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. Blizzard is giving you the opportunity to make a choice for the first time. And that choice is quite simply, which do you enjoy more? Which gives you more pleasure? Which is more fun? Which suits your group the best? You telling me that's a bad thing? You mad? My name is Total Biscuit. You are listening to Blue Please here on CynicalBrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. I will be right back after this. Enjoy.